who do I want to reach? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I'm talking about who do I want to reach, then the details of who I want to reach, and then the difficult things or some troubles I've thought of between who I want to reach. So first, why I'm talking about this, and it's because on Twitter I posted some rant about how my videos are boring, and yeah, someone gave me some feedback and stuff like that. Really appreciated. Young Ultrawix. And he then said, he asked what type of audience I'm after. And I had said that I want to reach some stuff like like-minded people, or something like this. You are right. I think that there is opportunity right now, and like that, right? Instead of me pushing the dynamic to someone else, right? Instead of me going to my friends and telling them, you have to think this, you have to think this. No, I want the platform that I really like and that I have trust that it can show stuff to people who want it, to show my shit to people who want it, right? So what kind of people do I think want it, right? And I felt compelled to clarify it. And why did I feel compelled to clarify this? Because, as Visa says, there are a lot of things in life where if you ask specifically, right, if you narrow shit down, I mean, this was tweeted today, so after I had made my video, but he's been talking about this for like ages probably. So it's not a new thing. And so instead of asking, will somebody marry me, you have to ask someone to marry you, right? Someone specific that you like, right? That you really like. Or instead of asking for a job, you have to ask the job that you want, or the people who control the job that you want to hire you, right? And tell them why, and specifically you want that job. So I'm here kind of making this video to say to the people in general, well, not to the people in general, but to see, to like manifest the kind of people that I think could want something like this content. And so who do I think these people are, right? First of all, I don't have anything like super clear or anything. It's not, in this video, in the tweet I showed in the first video, I said something like, I don't feel like bothering any of my ARLs or the people I hang out with or something like that. So it wasn't like super clear about who do I actually want it to reach, right? It was more, who am I not reaching or something like that. But instead of this, I don't have a good framework, but I like, for example, Visa's framework, like Friendly Ambitious Nerd. He has a book called Friendly Ambitious Nerd where he talks more about this. He has a Twitter account called Fan Switchboard where he joins people together and stuff like that. He's like the switchboard between friendly, ambitious nerds. And I like this ethos, which is like friendly. Nerds are people are curious people. Friendly are people who are friendly, who have relationships and care about their relationships with other people. And ambitious are people who want to accomplish something big in the world, or to make an impact. But he explains it well. And mine is not as well defined as stuff like that, but if I had to give some bullet points, I would give something like, I would include curiosity too. You can see it maybe above me, but so you can see the spoilers. But some curiosity. So a factor of what I specifically mean by curiosity is some kind of international mindset, or curiosity about seeing more things than the things that surround you, right? So glow, instead of just thinking of your very local community or some more stuff like that, which is important, but some also curiosity, right? Something that pushes you forward, not forward, but beyond your current community, your local environment, the things you see every day or stuff like that, right? So something And the part of that I think and something that I think influences this is me being a kind of a third culture kid in some way, right? So third culture kids are people who were raised in a culture other than your culture, what should be your culture, right? So people with foreign parents in a different country, immigrants, stuff like that, right? And I feel that a part of that, in my case, is not only that I have literally different genetic background, but also like a lot of cultural background, right? So I have engaged so much in stuff like American culture and online online drama, YouTube stuff in English, that I feel like that's part of me, right? So that's kind of another way of being third culture, in my opinion, right? So maybe you're from Slovenia. You're from Slovenia, right? And your father is from Slovenia too, and your mom is from Slovenia, and you've always hung out with Slovenian friends and stuff like that. But maybe you don't downloaded Counter-Strike, and you've spent, and to learn more Counter-Strike, you had to like learn English, and you were exposed to like a lot of content in English and stuff like that, right? So you were kind of compared to the people in Slovenia who maybe didn't play Counter-Strike, for example, and who just hung out with people and went to clubs and stuff like that. Maybe you are like more third culture in that sense than someone who just stood, who just went along with their bubbles and stuff like that, right? So who you ventured away from your bubble to become to a third party bubble, right? Well, maybe in this case it's like a second party bubble, but I count it inside this like kind of people, right? Then the second kind of people are Rabbithole Wikipedia people, right? So the people who are observant and who are not only curious in the sense that they, I don't know how to explain this well, but some kind of curiosity is kind of, I mean, being an observant is passive as well, right? But I don't know how to explain this well, but so like rabbit hole type people, well, I'm going to pause. I think I mean this in kind of an active versus passive way, right? Because you can be curious about stuff, like for example, if someone is very good at history and they start explaining some historic event from like the Romans, and they are very charismatic and stuff like that, you can stand there listening very curiously to what they are saying passively, right? You can not really engage with it and then afterwards look it up. But I like the rabbit hole Wikipedia type of people who are observant of what they see, right? Who, for example, in the Roman example, they hear that I don't know, it's some kind of super big history people type of stuff, and Julius Caesar gets stabbed by his brother Bruto, or no, vice versa, right? Bruto stabs someone. No, it was actually like that, right? But then they wonder, okay, so Bruto was his brother. How did brotherhood work in the Roman times, right? And they Google brotherhood in the Roman times, and they find an article in the Wikipedia that says, oh, actually, brotherhood in the Roman times was not a brotherhood today because brothers were much more antagonized between each other compared to in the present, where you really like your brother usually, right? Because mononuclear families were different and hereditary stuff was a lot more painful than right now. I don't know, whatever thing, right? And then they go to that and they then were like, so what are the stakes of inheriting your house in the Roman times, right? Inheritance in the Romans. Oh, okay, so only the bigger child gets it, but they have to do something, right? They have to be a citizen of Rome, and if they get exiliated, they can't. I don't know, whatever. And how was the average house that someone would inherit? Okay, Roman villas. Oh, Roman domus. Wow, this is interesting, right? these kind of people that they notice little stuff and they pursue it, right? And I think a good archetype is like Callum on YouTube. Callum is like a dude that really, you can tell by his content that he kind of did a lot of stuff, right? This is an old phone that basically everyone had, but he got it, and 5 years ago, so like 12 years or 15 years after that phone was popular, wanted to know how was living it with it a month after, right? Or how it is taking photos with a 90-year-old camera, or what is this vehicle, this strange vehicle that he came. I don't know how he found it. I don't remember the video, but yeah, this, like, the car itself is a super interesting project, right? And then yeah, this little anecdote of who was the first person to die in a car crash. Then more snow vehicles, more snow vehicles, or then this video about jerry cans, right? This video about shipping containers. He kind of pursues that rabbit hole and finds more stuff about it, and I like this archetype of person. And yeah, for example, I like cars, but there are many types of this kind of people. So for example, I think the first video of him that I saw was either this video of his camper van or this snow cruiser one. But yeah, but there are many types, like for example the Roman type of people, the Roman history type people that I told you, or yeah, probably one for every field. Art, yeah. History is usually tied into it somehow, because yeah, everything happened in the past, right? So if you're finding out about something, it's usually something in the past. But it, I guess, rabbit hole people about the future, for example, future ideologies or futurism, and then AI things. I don't know. Yeah, probably stuff like that too. And then the third kind of pillar was like communicative, because these are some kind of pillars, right? So this is like observant, communicative, and international, I guess. You can so international, observant, communicators, right? You could do some kind of friendly, ambitious nerd, but with these three words. That was what I was trying to do with this colon word in here, like colon word here or colon word here. And so the third pillar is like communication, and in my case, the type of communication that I do the most, I guess, is like the YouTube comment in long form, right? The long form YouTube comment that no one reads. So those are kind of like in the creator, contributor, lurker space. They are like the closest you can get to creator without actually creating on the platform, to maybe a 9. So that would be like a 2%er in YouTube, for example. Someone who makes really long YouTube comments is some kind of in the 2% of users, right? And maybe someone who writes a lot of tweets is in the 5% of tweeters, right? Because Twitter is a written medium, right? So yeah, so I'm kind of looking for that 3%er, right? Maybe not on YouTube. Maybe on YouTube you only watch YouTube videos, but you used to like write blog posts, or you were big on Tumblr in the Tumblr days, or you like write really long IG captions that no one really reads, but you like, I don't know, you found that writing on IG was therapeutic for you, or you write short stories on Instagram stories, or you on Vine instead of the 6 seconds, I don't know, something, right? So some kind of person that crosses that bar towards becoming more closer to the 1% of people who create stuff, right? But maybe are not there yet, right? Yeah, and those are the people who I'm trying to reach. And now to the difficult things, right? So today I watched this video by Luke Smith, and he says this.
People say, love your videos. Where can I find cool, like-minded people on the internet? Okay.
Right. So quite a similar question to what I would ask, right? And then
what's a cool chat server? What's a cool web form? What's a cool blah, 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 blah? And I never can give an answer to that, because the reality is There are none. Like the segment of people who use the internet like regularly as a like daily thing, like that constantly have a chat window pulled up, or they're in their Discord server where they can talk about furry stuff or whatever. Those kind of people are just not ever the kind of people you want to be interacting with.
See? So maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's interesting. And yeah, maybe I'm a loser, right? I do feel like a loser a lot of the time. In my video, this as me as a person and my cognitive identity. Think long term on is basically like just me as a person, and my cognitive identity is like me online, right? So what's more me than me online? Yeah, what's more me than me online? I bet that if he watched this thing, he would cringe the fuck out, right? Who the fuck defines themselves as someone who is online, right? That has to be like the ultimate, most loser kind of position that you can get to, right? But I don't know. I think it's accurate, right now. So in that kind of forest, I'm trying to find people who are like that, but in a good way, right? Is it possible? I don't know. We will see. So yeah, maybe I am a loser. And maybe those 1 to 9% people who I was talking about are losers too, right? Maybe the only people who get actual value are, or maybe the 1% people are, maybe some part of the 1% who create are not losers, and maybe 90% of the people who just lurk get value from it and then dip and do something in the real world, and the 1% like actually get some clout or get status benefits or monetary benefits from it. But the 2% to 9%, right, the exact people who I'm trying to reach are not actually getting any value, are the fucking losers, are the Discord moderators or stuff like that, right? So I don't know. Maybe he's that, and yeah, and as I say here, that's probably true. Like in Gary type videos or looks videos, in this kind of looks videos, go more into self-help or like self-development. So I could see how self-help, self-development, motivational content, Gary Vee style, right, could be something like that, right? My gut feeling is that it's true, right? If you scroll here in the comments, well, not in this video, but in other videos that are more self-helpy from Luke-Smith, like most of the comments, probably even my comments, especially the long ones, are probably like sub stories or stuff like that, or maybe, oh, you helped me so much, I love this video, but then his life continues to be shit the next day, right? Or something like that, right? Or in Gary Vee's videos, yeah, Gary, I loved your content. I'm so going to execute tomorrow. Yes, you say execute. I'm going to definitely execute, right? And then the next day they don't execute. So, yeah, that's kind of a risk, or like the reality of life, that is probably, life sucks, right? But I feel like seeing like what happens if you could, I feel like seeing what happens if you try to do this, right? If maybe it could be worth it. Why? And one thing I thought of is like, because of some of the intersection that I pursue, like the observant kind and maybe the third culture kind. It's like if you're a third culture kid, you maybe feel not at home. You have like this, I don't feel at home feeling a lot of the time, right? Or the real world is less homey as in HOMEY, this. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's actually possible to find something good, right? To find an interesting people online. That's my thesis. And yeah, I think that's basically what I wanted to say. This is video number 5 of a series of 100 videos that I'm trying to make. If you want to check it out, here it is.